It is a software as a service. It's for organizations and associations or companies having events, and allows individuals, during the registration process, white labeled as well, to enter their information. They might want to enter their website, they might want to enter phone number of contact, they might want to enter SMS to have an actionable item for people to use immediately, or one of the other QR code services that will actually track and do the analytics for the individuals. And so organizers can then receive a printed out on standard Avery label forms and distribute these as the name badges, and so that during the meetings people can get the information or whatever the individual wants them to do. Get that SMS code to contact them immediately for sales. Finances are simple. The organization pays $5–10 an event or has an annual subscription. The organization could also additionally sell advertising space on the badges to their sponsors. It could be just an extra benefit for sponsors. And then, and also importing the information could come from either somebody inputting it or using API codes for input your Facebook, input your LinkedIn, whatever you more commonly distribute in terms of financial information.
Awesome.
I'd like to start by thanking the National Startup Weekend and the fertile mind of Nicholas Holland for creating the event and sharing it. I'd like to thank the judges for being here, sharing your time, and the opportunity to tell you about a company, QRID, QR name badges for events. The idea, as you have just seen, to allow those organizers of events to let individuals not customize, but personalize the information that they wish to share. The idea is to essentially replace physical business cards with digital information transmission. What is QRID mean? Besides being a company name like Google has become a verb, we've actually designed a verb as a company name. So why don't you QRID me? Anybody have a scanner like a QRID me by just scanning my card right now? That's right. Boy, I love the participation. Let's see what it is.
What does QRID mean? QRID mean is an easy way to get QR codes onto your badges and name tags for conferences and meetings. So how does it work? Meeting organizers and conference organizers create an account on QRID me. They are then given a link they can paste on their meeting and conference website or send it out through their social media networks. Conference attendees can then register on QRID me using social media networks or email registrations, or they can just fill out a form. In the form, conference attendees can say their first and last name, phone, company, website URL, or a small bio. This information will then be placed into their QR code. Let's do a test. Now you can see there's 4 members signed up for the National Startup Weekend event. As a conference organizer, all I have to do is click download, and my name tags and QR codes for my attendees are ready to print out. With QRID me, it's simple to print out badges for conferences and meetings and then distribute them to the attendees.
Hi, I'm Phylanice.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I wanted to know, do you have a business card?
No, I don't. You can QRID me.
So you can imagine for small groups such as ours, how it might be simple to operate. And in fact, we imagine small groups might be able to do this, and we intend to charge them little or nothing for it. But there are conferences, commonly 2,000, 10,000 employees. There are some popular QR code generators. There are 10,000 of them. These are probably the top 10. Anybody can generate QR codes. Many companies do. None of the companies generate the codes in the way that we are proposing, allowing individuals to create codes to be distributed at events. How many have QR, may I see a show of hands, those who have QR code scanners on their telephones, smartphones? Okay, those of you without your hands up need to go as quickly as possible and get this and be caught up. I have often ridden the wave of consumer behavior and technology and helped my clients in that matter. There is no question that this is coming of age in the United States. a 10-year-old technology in the rest of the world. Incredibly common. You cannot walk down a street in Asia without seeing every window filled with QR codes. More common in Europe, uncommon here, becoming more popular now. Our market analysis shows that, in fact, there is a tremendous need for this. In 2010, we saw that there were 400 trade associations, only trade associations, we're not talking about community or others, that produced over 1,000 conventions and trade shows in the top 25 cities. Total attendance was 200 million attendees. So according to TomScore, with an ownership smartphones growing from 70 to 27 and in 2010, it now projected at 40% in 2011, the Scanlight Global Barcode Trend Report says at least 1/3 of those smartphone users have used QR codes in the past. So, based on these numbers, we estimate QRID, MiiA, would be used, potentially, by over 17 million times at over 1,000 events, and this is in the future. The growth of mobile barcode scanning is up incredibly. 700% from January of 2010. Starting in July, there were more scans in a single month than in all of 2009, and those trends are just going higher. Again, very common in other parts of the world. America is adopting it just as we adopted SMS technologies. And why we believe that our team has the ability, in fact, to exceed where others may not, is that we have the ability to learn faster than our competitors. And that is the only sustainable competitive advantage in the speed and market by which you are judged today, and you understand technology better than most. So, we are targeting, in terms of our market, initially niche marketing, and we can do this very effectively in terms of cost and in penetration, and we think excitement. Trade associations, the Meeting Professionals International is the largest association of professional meeting planners in the world, and they are not only members and that control trade associations, but they are also members of companies who run events that are at least attended by that many folks. If you think of the Apple Developers Conference, I mean, there's thousands of examples. Penetrating them alone would be a substantial amount of the market. American Marketing Association, other associations that have national chapters, Association of Fundraising Professionals that has a national meeting in Baltimore every year. And then, of course, the events you are all familiar with, offering the opportunity for us to penetrate the marketplace. Rights and solutions. What is the solution here? All right, it is a more efficient method of networking for event attendees. How many times have you gone to a convention and ran out of business cards? How many of you have been exhibitors at a convention and frustrated because your prospects won't give you a business card, or perhaps you use one of these traps and scanned a card? Anybody use a scanning solution at one of those conventions? Minimum $1,200. You only get a piece of paper tape. You could pay for the digital side if they have it available, usually not. QRID will replace the cumbersome and costly databases at these trade shows. Basically, I mean, bottom line, we would like to take this and get rid of it. We asked some people what they would think of an idea like this.
Okay, my name is Andrew Holsey. I've worked with a lot of events before. I would definitely use these for my event because probably the best thing is interaction with other people. It's kind of a good conversation starter. You walk up, zap them in the chest. That's pretty cool. It's a really great idea. I think that for large events, your big conferences, it would be really good because you've got more contacts you have to follow up with. I would definitely use it, definitely, but I plan on using it whenever they get it going.
We will offer it at price points that are incredibly competitive in the marketplace. And yet, it will not reduce our credibility. For less than 50 attendees an event, we intend to make it free for all organizations. For events that are charging an admission, that have 50 to 500 attendees, $30 takes care of your entire, you get all of your attendees and in alphabetical order delivered to you so that at the admission desk you can hand them out. 500 to 2,000 attendees, $250, 2,000 to 10,000, $1,000. I mean, that is cheaper than the cost of having the scanners at an exhibitor booth. For 10,000 and above, $4,000 per event. Of course, we also may do annual subscriptions based upon demand. There is also potential revenue in the attendees. All attendee registration is absolutely free. Absolutely. I want to keep it that way. But if they would like an attendee list, say for smaller meetings under 2,000, I can imagine any kind of salesperson who didn't get to actually scan everybody's code might like to know who else was there. A simple fee of $5. Who wouldn't pay that? Any salesmen in here? An attendee list for a larger, $30 a piece, easily. White label also. So again, we know event planning organizations, anything like Eventbrite, might like to white label this. We have a white label agreement able to do that and negotiate it. We have a very exciting team here today. We think we can take this forward. In the very short time that we've had, we've been able to do some incredible amount of work. Myself, I've been a VP of marketing at a number of different companies. Currently working a lot in mobile, and I've also had 2 startup experiences, launched them, and in fact they've raised all the venture capital for them. They've both been purchased successfully. I've also worked at very large agencies, the PP Group and Omnicom, so I feel we're able to lead this particular group. Faisal is also an entrepreneur here. MiiA.com is his startup in Tennessee. Brumm, a technologist and a Ruby off-the-rails guy, has contributed to really helping build our product out. McIntosh is a PR expert as well as marketing and has a serial entrepreneur also at the moment. Phylanice, Nashe, who is our attorney and a financial expert who has helped us to create not only we think, the protectable, patentable ideas, but also dotted our T's and crossed our I's, so to speak. Tom is again another entrepreneur in our team, technology specialist, built iPhone apps. Russ is a content designer and has also been exceptional in terms of keeping us on track and keeping us producing so that we can present to you today an almost completed product. And this is absolutely free. No, it's $500,000 is what we think we're going to need in order to put together the team and create the first basically quarter year to allow this to build and establish it, and then handle the costs of marketing and handle the costs of equipment and startup, and then also bring in the programmers and developers that we need to fine-tune this from what we have done and what you've seen today. And that's it. Do we have any questions?
Questions from the judges first?
Who's actually making the decision to print the badges for these conferences? You say that maybe the company would print them out and then give them to the conference. Is that typically how those work?
Yes. If you go to a conference today, name badges are either paid for by the conference organizer, whether that is a corporation, or whether that is an association, or whether it is a trade group or a community association.
Okay, so those are your two companies.
Yes, and they're the ones that are spending the money today. The print is an example of a company that prints out name badges in large quantities for these meetings, and they do it, and we are competitive with their costs, actually a little bit cheaper than them. And we are delivering a value far in excess of a name on a card that cannot be retained any longer than the moment of somebody meeting it.
All right, so like the others one together for each spot. If nobody's doing this right now, why
I was hoping you
guys
guys
not chime in and do it?
Right, with the first two teams.
Don't tell me it's patentable.
Right. You know, with the first, there's 2 sides of it. There's the human, the talent, expertise side, and then the technology. With Bayard and Scott, you know, with the experience and they have the connection, they can market this service.
Correct. And we have another factor in this. This is the beginning of a company which we believe will be a company that offers identification control the individual. So prior to this, if they created badges for people, they included information that maybe was at your registration, didn't ask you whether you'd like to have it. We would like to control that, so again, we're offering the individual the opportunity to do that. But we have another piece of technology that comes after this that includes, and you're familiar with RFID and NFC, near-field communications. So this.
Here's some example of customization
You'll notice on the back that he has a picture on it. The picture is very important because the next, as I mentioned, the Mobius company that we would like to partner with for the next version of this is using visual search image technology. So Mobius created a Got Milk campaign where it didn't require a smartphone. All you had to do was scan this ad with a feature phone and text it to an address, and you got returned multimedia or text depending upon the phone that you used. This is visual search technology similar to Google Goggles, right?
All right.
That's being developed. And so that would be for our vision for the future, that facial recognition ultimately, where you're actually just taking pictures of individuals at conferences.
All right.